Jeff Wilson started covering the Texas Rangers in 2008, though he'll never forget 2021. Out on his own, he decided it was time to do a podcast, but his wheels were spinning until a nerd came along. There's no going back now. Welcome to the Texas Rangers Baseball Podcast. Here's your host, Jeff Wilson, and the recliner nerd himself, John Moore.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Rangers Today Baseball Podcast. This is episode number 53, and today, Thomas Saggese is going to join us. He's an infielder with the Texas Rangers, fifth-round draft pick in 2020. But before we get to Thomas, we are going to go to the big leagues.
All right.
We're eliminated. It's out.
Yeah.
There are no playoff hopes.
The dream is over.
The dream is over. The Rangers are 64-84 right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They did win last night against the Angels. Turned a triple play. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Yeah, on Tuesday, the triple play. Right. But, wow. Let's talk about Young. He's been up 2 weeks now.
It'll be 2 weeks on Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, by the time this hits, it'll be 2 weeks.
There he is right there. I mean, he didn't have the greatest night. He's had a few Ks lately, but I see some freak out on a lot of people online. Is this another Joey Gallo? No, it's
Holy
not.
Holy cow, somebody said that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes, so it's not a Joey. Good Lord. The guy hadn't even been up here 2 weeks, and Joey didn't put up numbers like Young put up in the minor leagues. Joey put up a lot of power in the minor leagues. Yeah. But he didn't have the overall hitting. He's always been.
Well, Joey had a really good year at high A. He had a high average, and then he got to double A, and things kind of turned a little bit south on him average-wise. He's always had the power. Josh is a better hitter.
He's a hitter, yeah.
The thing that I think is concerning right now is as of Wednesday, 25 strikeouts and 45 at-bats, no walks. You know, so, 2 weeks in, he's shown that he can hit for power. Right. He's played well defensively. It's new. And another thing to keep in mind, he had 99 at-bats at AAA before they called him up. Right. And he's at 45 right now. Quick math tells me that's not even 150 at-bats. Nope. So you're talking about a guy who really, I don't even think he got 500 career at-bats in the minor leagues, who's come up pretty young.
Who earned it, by the way.
His performance earned it. Because of the COVID year, the lost year, the injuries that he's had, he is kind of maybe being accelerated a little bit, just to line him up with the Rangers' timeline for what they believe is their window to contend. But he's very smart, very heady. He's going to be fine. He's going to figure this out, and that's why he's up here now. Right, he's getting a feel for it. He's getting the book is out now apparently. On how to beat Josh Young, and so he's going to have an offseason to work on things and
adjust
that he'll need to adjust to, and he'll open the season next year as a third baseman, and we'll see what goes from there. But this is a young player, and you have to understand. I mean, Julio Rodriguez had struggles at the start of the year. Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. struggled to start the year. Spencer Torkelson did and got sent down eventually, but he's back in the major leagues now. So these are like premium hitters from their respective draft classes. Bobby Witt Jr. was in the same draft class as Josh. Yep. And so it just takes a little time.
Oh, well, my reaction to that too, just like you said, I'm sitting there thinking about that. I'm like, you got to think about it too. Look at the way the season started for Marcus Semien, who started out horrible to start season. Everybody gets to the major leagues. I don't care what kind of a hitter you are. You go through a slump. Sure. And when you're going through your slump at 150 total at bats, right, that you're, I guess, around 100 at bats or whatever, it's going to happen. It's just that it's the end of the year. This is one of the biggest names to get called up. Yeah. And everyone expected him to come up here, already have 11 home runs, hitting 480 with about a 1,500 OPS. Yeah. I mean, that's what you expect. This is reality. This kid's getting exactly what he needs right now.
Yeah. And you're right. Slumps are magnified at the start of a career, start of a season, the start of anything. And so, Mike Trout, the best player in the world, if you think, I think he is. That's another argument. But anyway, 2011, he got called up and had to go back down to Double A. Right. All right. It happens to the best of them. Right. And so, I'm not saying Josh Young is going to be Mike Trout, but Josh Young's not going to be some bum. I mean, he's going to get better the more he plays, and just give him time.
Absolutely. This guy has proven at every level that he can hit. be patient, folks. Look, it's here. When I saw that, it just was comical to me. It made me laugh and do that. What about Tavares?
Well, he's struggling too. He's still a young player. He's younger than Josh Young.
Yeah.
And he has more big league time, obviously. Last night was a big night for him. Wednesday night was big. He had a couple hits. He had a big hit in the 8th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out after Young had struck out for the 4th time. It was a 2-strike hit the ball the other way. So, we talked to him about it, about his kind of struggles on Tuesday. Entering yesterday, I think he was 10 for 60 in his last however many games that covers. But he's shown that he's a major league outfielder.
Yep.
The bat's always going to be the thing that he's going to have to work on. He's a switch hitter. It's both sides the same problem. He's a little jumpy. He called it stability. His balance is off. Maybe he's jumping at pitches a little too much. It's big for him to gain a little more confidence in these mechanical adjustments he's making, because he's not going to play winter ball.
Right.
So he wants to take this into the off season and be able to work on that and leave for the Dominican. That's where he spends his off season in a good headspace, so that he can knows what he's working on, doesn't have to go to spring training and try to figure something out.
I mean, look, he's pretty much settled in that he's probably going to be the opening day center fielder next year. Yeah. I mean, I don't see – he has done nothing to say he's not going to be the opening day center fielder. I think the Rangers like to see him be, solidify enough to where he could maybe be a leadoff hitter. I think they're really looking for a true leadoff hitter to do something like that. Yeah. But even if he's not, this guy's an amazing outfielder. And look, everyone – again – you just happen to be going through a slump at the time Josh Young's going through a slump. He hasn't really slumped all year. I mean, he's had his time, but it's not horrible. Every player goes through it for a little bit or they're hitting right at people, or they just don't get comfortable at the plate, and they've got to go make some adjustments or do whatever. But I tell you what, all year long he's looked comfortable at the plate. Yeah. So, I mean, it's another one I'm not worried about. Josh Smith hit his very first homer over the fence last night. Yeah. So did y'all get a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, we did. And he
Did he get the ball?
I don't know. I didn't ask him that. But
okay.
He laughed, but he admitted it felt good. On Tavares, he started the year so hot in AAA, then he had a bad May, then he rebounded, got called up, was good, and has gone through this slide. So he's got a chance to adjust back right now.
Sure.
He's and you mentioned him as a terrific center fielder. In that game last night, 9th inning, this is a play that usually doesn't get made.
Right.
Mike Trout leads off with a single, hits it hard into the gap. Tavares cuts it off and holds him to a single.
Right.
Now, it was a 5-run game at the time, not a big deal. Usually that's a double. If that's a 1-run game and then the tying runs at second base with no outs.
Absolutely.
Those are the kind of plays that teams that are championship level make.
Yep.
That's why the Astros, when they had the great outfield of Springer and Marisnik and Josh Reddick there did 17 and 18, they made plays like that.
Yep.
And those are run-saving plays.
Absolutely.
They really are. And Tony Beasley brought it up. I was going to bring it up. I asked about the defense after the game because they had a nice defensive game. Defense is so important. And if you have a big outfield.
Yep.
And you have that guy in center field, it's pretty strong. So I really like Leote. I've always been a big Leote guy.
No, you have.
And so I think that what he's dealing with now, he's going to learn from it. And next offseason, it's very similar to Josh Young on opening day next year. Everything's going to be fine.
And you know what? It's also it might be sort of semi-blessing in disguise that Young's the one that's struggling a little bit. Maybe that overshadows the fact that he's having a little bit of a downtime right now. Yeah. But you know what? I think everyone agrees that Leote Tavares will be on this roster. I mean, this guy has now solidified he is an outfielder in the major leagues. Is he going to be the leadoff guy? We don't know. Like we said there. But I have said it over and over from our vantage point where we sit. That guy gets to balls easily that I've seen other center fielders don't get to.
Right.
And when it goes off the bat, you're thinking, uh-oh. And then you see him gliding and go, he is making that look like it was just nothing. Right. And he just goes right over to it. But, cutting off the ball last night, that's so important. Making the right throw. I'll talk about Double-A. Double-A is when I went out there for the playoffs when we get to the minor league, go down to the bus leagues after Thomas comes on. But those guys aren't making the cutoffs or hitting the cutoffs. These guys, that's so huge defensive-wise to make the cutoff and do that and stop a single from being a double. Keep the extra, like you said, especially if there was one run.
And when Chris Woodward was fired, the talk was that the Rangers wanted to see things done differently and have them prepare better for games. And one of the things that they really wanted to emphasize is defense and doing the fundamental stuff. And Tony Beasley even mentioned it yesterday pregame. Stuff like hitting the cutoff guy. Knowing where to throw the ball. And he brought this up and hadn't thought about it. Spring training was shortened, but that's pretty basic stuff.
Sure.
There's really no excuse for that. And somehow it got away from the Rangers. And it's not, things aren't perfect defensively.
Sure.
That's why you notice when they have excellent defensive games like they did last night. But,
and the Angels don't.
Oh my God. If this team is going to be good, they have to catch the ball. And it starts with the ones right at you. The plays you got to make. If there's an out, and it's right at you, you have to make the out.
Absolutely.
and then the special plays will take care of themselves. But catch the ball, get the outs you're supposed to get.
Well, in this team right now, I mean, I think since the All-Star break or something, they're 11th in offense or something. I saw some obscure stat like that. Offense isn't the big problem right now.
No.
They're putting up the runs for a winning team. Yes, they can go improve over the offseason. Pretty much the lineup that's going right now is a lineup that's going to be here next year.
Agreed.
And so they can go out and upgrade. They can go do some stuff. Pitching. That's where this problem still lies. Dane Dunning did okay, but I mean, he struggled, and he might be playing his way back to the back of the rotation or off. I don't know. I like Dane. I really like Dane a lot, but he's not a high strikeout guy. He's a sinker ball guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think even when the Rangers acquired him, the thought was he would be a back of the rotation guy.
Sure.
And if you have John Gray, if you re-sign Martin Perez, and if as Ray Davis says, you sign two others and you have Dane Dunning.
It's not bad.
That's not bad, depending on who the others are. But, I also don't think that the Rangers want to bog themselves down, though, with big pitching contracts, because they do want all these pitching prospects that they have
to be the answer
that they've drafted and developed to work their way into the rotation. And to be a successful team, you have to have guys who are under club control, who are star players and can be there for a while. So that's why Tavares is important. That's why Josh Young is important. That's why Cole Winn, Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, Zach Kent, who's been unbelievable.
Yeah, and AAA.
Cole Reagans. That's why all these guys are important. You want to see them develop. Maybe next year's not their year. That's fine. But you sign a bunch of 1 or 2 year contracts to give these guys just a little more time. Jacob deGrom's out there, injury problems. Carlos Rodon could be out there, injury problems. I just don't see them signing a guy. Maybe one guy. Maybe you sign one guy to a multi-year deal.
Sure.
But I think if they're going to sign pitchers, they either acquire guys who are under club control or they sign free agents to short-term deals.
And there's a lot of them that are going to be out that are serviceable enough. Look, and guys, you got to remember, this is a pitcher's ballpark. There are some guys that could come into this ballpark that can. Martin Perez is having a lot of luck in this ballpark as a ground ball pitcher, and look what he's done. He's built for this ballpark.
Sure.
When half your starts are going to be here, that's why your ERA is below 3, and you've got him. And if Martin Perez, honestly, on a great team, if he's your number 3, 4, or 5, and on a great team doing what he's doing now, I mean, right now he's your ace, right?
Yeah.
But John Gray is the real ace signed on the staff right now, although he's not a true ace. Yeah. He's probably he's got the higher upside of any of them. He's a strikeout guy.
He has very good stuff. Yeah.
He's got very good stuff. He's had some stupid little injuries this year that kind of sucked. But John Gray is a solid 2, 3 up there. I mean, you still would love a big ace. I mean, this team has got, if they sign Martin, you've got 2 great arms for there. Because Perez, even being your 3rd or 4th pitcher, is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, but those 2 top of your rotation, you just need it at the back end. The bullpen also could use a little bit of something. There's no more John Daniels. He usually doesn't sign closers. He did sign, what's his name?
Joe Nathan,
that worked out. I mean, Diaz is going to be a free agent.
I think Kenley Jansen is going to be a free agent. I think that, and I think I wrote it, that the biggest shortcoming of the current pitching staff is the closer role. And I would love to, I think everybody would love to see him sign a closer. It would just gives the team confidence. You know? You don't go into the ninth being, oh my God, what's going to happen now?
Well, if you sign a good closer and he ends up becoming your setup guy because one of your own guys turns into a great closer, you still got 2 back-end guys.
Yeah.
So that's what you need. So, it's a new top of the player president of baseball operations now.
Yeah. He was, he's going to come in this offseason, Chris Young, because we promised him barbecue.
Yes.
But it's going to be busy. And I really think that I really am curious to see how he will approach the bullpen, because he played with Trevor Hoffman, who's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
The Royals team that won the World Series that Chris was on had Greg Holland, and really that was the first time that you saw teams try to shorten games in the postseason because the Royals had such a great bullpen.
Right.
So I bet he values, as a former player, I'm willing to bet that he values closers a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. Anything else before we get to Thomas?
No, we're counting down the games, and I'm looking forward to the off season. Doesn't mean we're going to get any arrests at Rangers today. We'll still be cranking stuff out.
We'll just be home more at night with the families. You way more than me. I don't go to all the games. I go to one a series. You being home with the family. But before we go any further, you're wearing that hat. The thing that's coming up. Today is NTX
North Texas Giving Day, so it'll be over by the time that this airs. But
sure, but
on October
doesn't
14th,
mean you can't get into this right
October
here.
14th, Do It for Durrett Foundation is having its annual event. It's called the Ocho, and so you can go to doitfordurrett.com or go to the Twitter account for information. But it's a big.
You'll be there. I'll be there.
Richard Durrett, our old buddy who passed away suddenly in 2015. We don't help his family anymore. It's for our area families. We felt more than 100 of them who've experienced a sudden loss of a parent, and kind of families wondering what to do. So we try to help them out financially however we can.
Sure.
Try to get them back on their feet, after they have their breath taken away. So, anyway, donate if you can. Also, while we're talking money, rangerstoday.com is $5.99 a month or $60 for a year. And again, we don't take time off in the off season. And
if you just want to do the off season,
and it's gonna be a busy dang off season with free agency, hiring the manager, which is the most important thing. So
it'll be busier than last year. They may not spend the money they spent last year, but it is going, because I think now people realize the Rangers are players in the free agent market.
Sure.
And movers and shakers, and they want to compete in 2023.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people know Rangers. I noticed every free agent that's been listed right now and predictions of where they're going. I'm not kidding. Aaron Judge, DeGrom, every one of them, part of the list is the Texas Rangers. And you know why? Don't know that they're going to go there. I don't know that Judge would come to Texas. It's because the Rangers have money. They've spent it, and they want to get better, so they can't ignore them. Mm-hmm. They used to ignore it. When everyone last year they said Rangers are going to be players, we're going to spend some money. I think everyone laughed at that and went, okay, all right.
I think I did too.
I know, me too. So, all right, well, let's go to Thomas Saggese right now. Then we're going to go down in the bus leagues. Playoffs are going on with Frisco Rough Riders. I was out there for the first playoff game. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but first let's go to Thomas Saggese right after this. And joining us right now from San Antonio, Texas, where the Frisco Rough Riders are taking on the San Antonio Missions in the playoffs. Already up 1-0. It's Texas Rangers infielder Thomas Saggese. Tom, thanks, buddy, for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Hey, what did you have for breakfast?
I went to First Watch.
Solid. What? First Watch has the giant pancakes, right?
Yes.
Did you dive into some of those?
No, I did not.
Well, what did you have?
I had just a hash. A skillet hash.
What was in it? Come on. Details.
Potato, sausage. I think onions, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Eggs.
It'll be a joy to be around later then. Did you get the bacon appetizer, the special bacon?
I did not.
Man, what's they call that? $1 million bacon? Is that what they call it?
Yes, I don't know what you're talking about. Where's the place?
First Watch.
Oh, First Watch. Okay, all right.
All right. So how is San Antonio treating you guys? I know you haven't played yet, but I guess you got down there yesterday.
I went with a couple guys on the team. We went to the Riverwalk.
Okay.
And that was really cool. And we saw the Alamo, and it was really neat. I didn't even know any of that stuff was here, honestly. So that was cool.
You did all the San Antonio stuff. Okay, that's good. Where are you guys staying? Because I don't even know where that ballpark is.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Are you close to downtown?
I think it's like 15, 20 minutes from downtown area, probably.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So you are the reigning. I guess you're going to be the reigning Texas League Player of the Week all the way until the first week of next season, because you won it for the last week of the regular season, which was your first week of Double-A. What'd you have? 3 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, 9 RBIs, a grand slam, 1266 OPS. What's going on, man? I mean, I thought Double-A was supposed to be hard.
I mean, I don't know. It's just 1 week, anything can happen in 1 week. But yeah, I don't know. I just seeing the ball well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you've had it's not like you were hitting 110 at Hickory. You were hitting 310 there, 14 home runs. What this season has kind of what's been the key for you so far this year?
I'd say really just trusting myself. In the past, I've gone to other people, which everybody's given me great advice, but I really realized that, I'm my best hitting coach and I'm my best fielding coach, and I know the most about myself out of anybody. I mean, naturally, I think that goes for everybody, and trusting myself and not being afraid to make changes, I guess, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And having fun with it too.
Yeah.
Last year I was a little more strict with my hitting mechanics and stuff. This year I'm just like, if it feels good, that's what I'm going to do. So
imagine that.
Yeah.
Going with feel, that works. You kind of started a little slow, maybe. Is that where the trust factor came in, or is that where the not afraid to change factor came in?
Let me think. I think that's more when I had to really trust myself and my body to get into good positions and stuff, and then more towards later in the year when I would go through a game or two, or I'd go BP, and I was like, whoa, this feels really good today. I'm just going to do that today.
You're not Joey Gallo. You're not 6'5" and 250 pounds, but you still kind of pack a punch. What generates the power in your swing? Is it bat speed? Is it just what would you say?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I don't think I have extraordinary power. My goal is just to try to. I feel like everybody has the power to hit homers, but the real key is how often can you hit the ball like a couple feet over the fence. You know what I'm saying? Like, how often are you getting that swing off rather than just the pure power?
Yeah. Well,
so I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It does. I mean, because what you're saying is you got to find the barrel, no matter what you do.
Exactly. And everybody has the power, Everybody can hit a ball. Almost everybody on our team can hit a ball 400 plus feet. I'm sure everybody can. So it's like, how often can you do that? Basically, is how I look at it.
Yeah, we had your buddy Evan Carter on a couple weeks ago, and I think he actually referenced a conversation with you about hitting the ball over the fence and how it's more it's not what you do in the gym. It's your swing and repeating it. So
Definitely.
you just joggled my memory there.
Yeah, we've talked about that extensively, and it's like obviously being stronger and whatnot helps a lot. But if I could already hit the ball over the fence, it's more about how many times can I get that good swing off. Sure. Now the gym might help me get my one that goes to the track. Maybe that one goes over, but yeah, definitely.
Okay. Hey, defensively, you can play second, short, and third. Where are you most comfortable?
I'd say I'm most comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable everywhere. Probably mostly at second.
It's fair.
Why?
Just because I've played a lot of second recently.
Okay.
It's normally wherever I've played recently is where I'm the most comfortable, honestly.
Played third base the other night.
All right, so right now it's third.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I play, like I played second base for the past 2 weeks pretty much before that, so I'm still. But then I'm playing. If I play like 3 games at third, then it's like, okay, now I'm more comfortable at third. So.
Gotcha. Where, I mean, you know the landscape. You know who's in the system. You know who's on the major league roster. Is it too far? Is it too soon for you to start looking at, man, I need to learn how to play right field or left field or catcher or something? or are you just
I don't really worry about that, honestly. I kind of just go play, and I haven't really thought about that much.
Well,
so,
if you hit the ball, they're going to find a place to play.
Yeah, if you hit, they're going to find a spot for you, and you're hitting. Yeah. So last year, you kind of got your feet wet there down east. Didn't play every day, but I think you still had 250 at bats, 300 at bats. This year you've been a regular. Are you? How's your body holding up? Is it tougher than you thought maybe to get through a full season?
Well, last year I played quite a bit, so I felt like that was kind of a good introduction to it. And then this year, not much. It hasn't been like crazy, but there's definitely days where you're like really dragging or something's aching or something like that. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. It's a long season for sure, and it's a grind. But I mean, I'm pretty fortunate to get to play.
Yeah, well, baseball. I mean, the grind's part of it. I mean, that's what you got to learn how to fight through. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, that's the fun part of it too. You know, how am I gonna? My body hurts. How am I gonna get through the day? Or my swing's off. How am I gonna find a way to get a hit today and stuff like that? So that's the part.
I got to tell you, I think you're the first person who's ever said that's fun. So hey, that's a big feather in your cap, buddy. Were you surprised that you got promoted with a week to go?
Kind of a little bit, yes. I kind of saw they kind of hinted at it the week prior, and I'd been told that they'd been wanting to send me up, but you never know. There's a bunch of hearsay, and you never really know. Yeah. So
sure,
I was kind of expecting it because of what they said previously in the week. Okay. So geared up for it. Nice. But the week to go, I was like, kind of weird, but
you're in the playoffs.
That's right. You got another week. So,
sure.
and I mean, the Frisco roster at this point is like half the Hickory roster most of the season anyway, it seems like.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I'm guessing that's seamless transition.
What's that?
It was a seamless transition. I mean, it's like you had to meet everybody new.
No, not. It's pretty. You know most of the guys from spring training anyway. So.
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
So who are you? I guess you're staying in a hotel. Do you have a roommate?
Yeah, my roommate's Evan.
Oh, okay. Well, he was your roommate in Hickory. Okay,
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
I didn't know if maybe you and Englert were playing together or living together or something like that.
yeah, we've been roommates pretty much the whole year, everywhere.
What kind of guy is Evan Carter?
Very nice guy. Very nice. Southern hospitality. Really down to earth. Real kind.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't want to say it's a clash of cultures, but you're from Southern California and he's from Eastern Tennessee, so it seems like kind of an odd fit.
It is definitely.
Yeah. Well, you always got
got
baseball. You got baseball, and you guys were part of that crazy draft class in 2020 where there are only 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, did you gravitate to them? Were you? I mean, you guys. I guess that instructs that fall. Have you guys been buddy since then?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, because we were roommates then, and so we've been pretty tight since then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. All right. So you guys are you're in San Antonio. What is playoff baseball like at this level?
It's as opposed to what? As opposed to
As opposed to like the regular season. I mean, can you tell that it's more intense?
I didn't catch that last part.
Can you tell that it's more intense? Is a playoff game more intense?
You're more into it. Definitely more into it. In the regular season, you want to win, but you're like, you also think about yourself because you're trying to get to the big leagues. As selfish as that may sound, but that's the reality of it. You know, I want to win in the regular season for sure. But here, it's like kind of more back to, I'm just doing whatever I can to help my team win. And so that's the fun, that's what makes baseball so much fun. So I've really enjoyed it. It's intense. I like it a lot. And I was lucky enough to be in the playoffs last year too. So it's.
Oh, that's right. It's
fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so what do you got planned for this offseason?
I'm just gonna go home, take a couple weeks off, then start training. Pretty much. I mean, nothing really. I think I'm going to Italy.
Ooh.
To try out or something for the World Baseball Classic team, but I haven't heard anything about that in a while. So who knows if? But
Saggese is indeed an Italian name.
Yeah, Saggese.
Yeah. So other than that, Evan's getting married, so I'll go there.
Oh, December 16th.
Yeah,
right?
he told us that.
Yeah, I think he said it was the 16th or maybe the 17th.
Yeah.
All right, that's on our calendar too. I don't know if we're going to make it though. I don't know if we're going to get invited, but put in a good word for us.
California.
He froze up.
We'll do.
All right. I'm gonna hand it over to John. John doesn't ask about baseball as much as I do, so you might have a little more fun now.
All right, Tom. So, hey, do you like Thomas or Tom?
Or Tommy?
Whatever you prefer. I don't care.
All right.
Hey, before you go though, the last time I was talking to somebody last week, and they referenced you as Tommy Flo.
Yeah, I get that as well sometimes.
You got some sweet hair or what?
Well, it started off like I think I had no flow, I had no swag and instructs, and the Latins kind of got a hold of that and started calling me Tommy Flo. And then my Cody Atkinson, the hitting coordinator.
Yeah.
And trying to get me to, I don't know.
Hey, say that one again. You broke up. What did Cody do?
He was trying to get me to grow my hair out for a while, and finally I just gave in and said, "All right, I'll I'm just not gonna get a haircut, I guess, and so we can match the name.
Oh, all right.
And, yeah.
Because Cody doesn't have long hair. He's got a kind of a tight cut. So I don't.
Yeah.
He must
He
be
does
living.
not.
He must be living through you vicariously.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So Thomas Saggese, you're from Carlsbad, California, right? I mean, you had a heck of a high school career there. Did you go to Carlsbad High School? What was your high school called?
Yes, Carlsbad High School.
Carlsbad. Now, did you play any other sports when you were growing up or in high school?
I played, let's see, soccer, basketball when I was little. And like in middle school, maybe towards the end of my middle school time, I just kind of focused on baseball.
Just baseball, and that was it. Now, you were committed to Pepperdine University coming out of high school. Your numbers were crazy, by the way. Well, you didn't have much of a senior year. His junior year were nuts. The hit like about 9,000 and had about 80 home. I mean, it was crazy good numbers. And you started out great your senior year. You were committed to Pepperdine. Did you have any other schools on your list or anybody that wanted you?
I had USD, and then I was talking to a decent amount from California, but USD was the one who offered me in Pepperdine. That was really it. And then I kind of just committed right out of pretty early for my process.
Okay.
Because that was a couple offers at that point.
Now, I've never been to Pepperdine, but it's in Malibu.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be nice.
And you overlook the ocean. I mean, that had to be pretty enticing.
Yeah.
Definitely. And a perfect distance from home, so I was psyched on it for sure.
Right.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so you're drafted in that weird 2020 draft. There was only 5 rounds. You're drafted in the 5th round in 2020. How did you find out you'd been drafted?
Well, I was talking to my agent all day, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll know by the 2nd round." So Evan's pick, we'll know if they're going to take you. And then that came around, and then he's like, "Okay, they said we'll know by the 3rd round." So then that pick came around, and they still didn't know. And then, like 15 minutes after that, he was like, "Hey, if they offer this, you want to take it?" And I was like, "No, I think I want more." And then they ended up, and then I called him like a couple minutes later. I was like, "Actually, if they offer that, I'm taking it." And then that's exactly what happened. And then I took it. I think it was like a little before the 4th pick is when I found out that they were going to take me in the 5th round.
Okay, so it was only 5 rounds, so I can remember this one: Foscue, Carter, T.K. Roby, Dylan McClain, and then you in the 5th round.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I mean, Dylan McClain they had heard of. You were more well known than Evan Carter. People knew who Saggese was. They didn't really know who he was. He kind of spurred on there. Okay, so let me ask you this: what do you do outside of baseball? Do you hunt, fish? I mean, you're in California. Surf? I don't know. What do you do when you're not playing baseball?
A whole lot. I really don't do a whole lot. I golf.
Okay.
I golf. I surfed a little bit in the off season. I fished maybe once, but I think I'm going to get into surfing this off season. But I kind of just like to lay low and focus on my training. Really, honestly, that's kind of fun for me. Is the practice and preparation is what I like the most about baseball. So
yeah, I mean, you said the grind is fun. So
I like it.
That kind of fits.
But
okay.
Yeah.
So we got to get into your favorite food. Now, what kind of food is your favorite kind? You're Italian. Is it Italian food, or what is your favorite kind of food?
I actually like Mexican food a lot. I really like meat. I'm big into steak.
Dude, this kid's after my heart right here. Steak. You can't go wrong with steak, man. I'm telling you.
But not Italian that much?
What's that?
Not Italian food too much?
I don't think I'm a very picky eater, so I'll kind of eat eat anything. And I mean, I love Italian food, but I really like Mexican food.
What's your go-to Mexican dish?
Just a carne asada burrito, probably.
All right, I can handle that.
Okay, so fast food. What's your favorite fast food joint?
Fast food. Probably In-N-Out.
Oh, boy.
I was about to say, he's going to pick In-N-Out over Whataburger, but you're a California kid. I get it. There's a Whataburger now there in Arizona. Now you're in Frisco. Have you had a Whataburger?
I have not.
You've been here a week. You got to have
Are
Whataburger.
you kidding me? All right, this interview's over. I mean, you got to try it. Now, look, I'm a guy I'm a Whataburger guy, but I do like In-N-Out burgers.
Oh, yeah, I like In-N-Out a lot.
In-N-Out are good burgers. But you got to try Whataburger now that you're living here in Texas. You're here in Frisco and in San Antonio. Before you head back, you got to go have one.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
We just got a couple more, and we're going to get out of here. Favorite home-cooked meal. What's your favorite home-cooked meal, and who cooks it?
My dad makes really good pizza.
Ooh.
All right.
So I really like that. And my mom used to make rice with onions and mushrooms and steak, and I really enjoyed that.
That sounds pretty good, actually. That sounds good.
We ask everyone that because we're lining up our menu of whose homes we're going to go visit for home-cooked meals.
That's right.
So the pizza, the rice with meat, and I mean, we're getting all kinds of good stuff. Okay, one of my favorite games with the hitters is the home run game, okay? We're going to talk about 3 home runs. Very easy. First one, tell me about the first home run you ever hit over a fence. How old were you and where was it?
First home run, I was 8 maybe. And it was in San Marcos, which
Texas?
is a neighbor in Carlsbad.
Okay.
San Marcos, California.
Okay.
I think that's my first one.
Okay.
Over a fence.
Oh, it went over a fence. Yeah.
Not like in the backyard. Like this was at a game.
Hey,
It was at the game. The fences were about 120 feet, but it was at the game.
All right, that works.
That right there tells you that he had the barrel back then. Okay, second home run, and there might be a couple of them. What's one of the most exciting ones you ever hit? Did you have a walk-off in high school, in the minor leagues, anywhere? What's one of the most exciting ones you've had?
I've had a couple for sure. Trying to think. In high school, there was a big rally, and we were coming back in the game, and I hit a homer. I think that got us within 1 run, and that was kind of exciting.
Sure, that's a good one.
Exciting ones was
Wait, you froze just a second there.
I think we're.
Hang on just a sec. Okay, say the second one. Say the second one again. What was the second one again?
Earlier this year, I think we were down 4-2 in the 8th, and I had a homer to tie it up, and that was really exciting. So I think that's probably up there.
Okay.
Well, what about your grand
slam? There's another one too. So those are up there for sure.
What about the grand slam you hit last week?
First inning.
Well, I don't care.
That was exciting, but not a huge moment. First inning.
Yeah, but first
cool,
homer.
Yeah, but and that's the game they clinched, wasn't it? Wasn't that the game they clinched?
It wasn't. I think that was a couple days after we clinched.
Okay. Still though, that was good. Okay, last one, last home run. The bomb. What's the one you barreled that you know is the farthest one you've ever hit, and how far do you think it went?
I think it was the one I hit earlier in the year to tie the game up. I think it was that one, or it was one from last year. Probably the more previous, probably the one this year.
How far do you think it went?
I don't know. I think maybe around 430, maybe 440, maybe. I don't know.
That works for me.
That's a bomb.
I'll take it.
That's a bomb. Okay, last one. This is one we always have. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. You're going to love this. It's something that nobody knows about Thomas Saggese. Let me give you some examples. What was Evans?
Well, I don't. Oh, he's a green thumb. He likes to garden.
Likes to garden. We had Jack Leiter, hates peanut butter. Now he's your teammate. You can give him some credit about that. But what is something that nobody knows about Thomas Saggese?
That nobody knows.
That people are going to know now.
That they're about to know.
That's a good. No, I got to think about that one. I'm a pretty open book, so
he surfs. I mean, I didn't.
You could guess that one.
Maybe that I really like history.
Oh, all right. I'm a history major.
This is my kid. I swear to God. I mean, he likes history. He loves steak. I mean, this is right here. This is my boy.
All right. Well, now what history is it? Is it world history? Do you like U.S. history?
I really like everything. Honestly, I'm really into like the pyramids and how they were built and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, getting to travel around every one of these little towns you play in the minor leagues, especially, there's got to be some good historical markers out there. You got to go check them out.
Yeah, yesterday was cool at the Alamo, and we went to a hotel that had a lot of cool historic facts.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, the Alamo's pretty cool. I mean, I know it's very touristy now, and you know, you can go across the street. I think there's a McDonald's or something, but
yep.
It's pretty amazing to read the little graphics in every wall, and
right.
Boy, can you imagine that? You know, just almost 200 years ago, obviously, but
sure.
Those guys were in trouble.
Yeah, they were.
They were in trouble. So,
all right. Well, anything else you want to tell?
No, but I'm pretty impressed by that history stuff. That's good. That's good stuff. It's always good reading.
Yep.
You can always find a good historical somebody from the past who you like and latch on to. So
absolutely.
I think if I said mine, I'd get canceled. So I'm not going to say it. But anyway.
That's fantastic. In fact, Jeff Macy, if you guys win it tonight, good luck tonight, Tom, and get back here. Jeff's probably been out there. You saw me the other day. I came up and said hi to you when you were out there taking infield. But nothing else for you?
Let
this guy get out here. He's got a game, important game tonight. You need to bring it home so the Rough Riders can come back here and play in front of the home crowd.
Yes, sir.
Tom, thanks so much. That's Thomas Saggese, infielder for the Frisco Rough Riders. Top prospect in the organization. Tom, thanks so much for joining us, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, now it's time to go down in the bus leagues. Big thanks again to Thomas Saggese for coming on with us. When you go to the bus leagues, it's the one place we can talk about playoffs because look, down east, Hickory, their seasons are over. They had a good season going into it. They're done. Frisco is still playing the playoffs. We'll get to AAA in just a second.
Yeah.
I went out there the other night. They won their first game 7-2.
Great Frisco.
Yeah, it's Frisco.
Right.
Frisco did. And won their first game. Man, the atmosphere was crazy. And you know what? Kudos to Frisco for what they did. They're probably going to try to do it this weekend. You guys need to go out and watch these guys. They're probably going to, if they win this series, they're going to be back here Sunday.
Sunday at 5, I believe.
Right.
5:05 is the tentative. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be out of town, like I said, but they will. The atmosphere was great. They gave away $5 tickets. I'm assuming they're probably going to do that again. Season ticket holders got free tickets.
Is that right?
Free tickets for season ticket holders, $5 tickets. There were 5,500 people on a Tuesday night in September to watch this team. And, I mean, let's go through the lineup that was there. You're talking about these are top 30 prospects. Third base, you have Thomas Saggese, who we just talked to. Shortstop, Jonathan Ornelas, been on this program before. He is making himself into a dude that could be a utility guy.
Sure.
Second base, they had Acuna at second base, so Foscue was DHing. There's another guy right there. Acuna's a top 30 guy. Foscue's a top 30 guy.
Top 10 guys.
Yeah, top 10 guys right there. In right field, they had Aaron Zavala. who's been amazing. Center field, Evan Carter has been on this show.
Number one.
And then left field, they had Kellen Strom, who's a name to watch. He hadn't been on the show, but that guy's produced at every level. Catcher, I forget who they had catching that night, but it wasn't one of the top guys there. But this team was talented, and Jack Leiter was on the mound.
Yeah.
Who, I guess we got to talk about Jack Leiter.
Dustin Harris is on the injured list.
Yes.
It's a very talented team.
And this team has had people go up and down. They've had people come up, and they've had people go up.
Right.
And it's stayed a competitive. It's been a very talented team all year long.
Well, I mean that talks to the depth in the system,
exactly,
because they're getting good players like Acuna and Zavala to replace guys who have gone up, like J.P. Martinez and of late Blaine Krim. Leiter, the end of his year, maybe he's feeling a little fatigue. I'm not going to make excuses for him. Walking too many guys, it's been an issue all year. But I still think if Frisco advances, that he'll pitch in the next series.
Sure.
The guy who's pitching game 2 is over your shoulder. Cody Bradford, former podcast guest, lives just west
Big
of...
shout out to his dad and wife, came up and said hello.
Oh, all right.
And said they were big listeners and loved it. And I told him how much we thought that Cody was just a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And his dad came up, just loves it. Said, man, I love what you guys do. I love every bit of it. Met his wife, just a lovely young lady. She was telling me where they lived, and she gets to just walk over and go over. Of course, we know where they're living, right there behind left field. But anyway, I wanted to stop real quick. Give them a big shout out to them. It's really nice of them to come up and say something.
Yeah. So anyway, their son/husband is doing pretty well. You kind of look at his ERA; it's 5.01 entering the. I guess that's the end of the season. He finished with a 5.01 start, but you look at his WHIP is 124. He struck out more guys than innings pitched. I think 124 strikeouts and 118 something like innings pitched, 10-7 record. It was rough for everybody this year in the Texas League, especially early with the weather conditions. It was hot early. It was windy early.
Sure.
And Chris Young has said that the Texas League is a terrible place to pitch.
Yep.
So if the GM gets it, then everybody else should. But Cody had a steady year. He posted every time. He gave him innings. It wasn't always pretty because of weather and other circumstances, but here he is still standing. He's pitching in the playoffs, and he's
been pitching well in the second half.
He's been pitching very, very well in the second half, and he's Rule 5 eligible. Another guy to keep an eye on. Another guy you wonder about, and but just his size and his stuff, and he throws a lot of strikes, which Tony Beasley has said since he took over. Rangers pitchers are going to throw strikes, whether he's the manager or not. So
he's only walked like 32 all year.
Yeah, and then if you look at his numbers last year, it's the same thing. So good for him, and that's part of the reason why Frisco's good.
Yeah. He walked 32 all season. Jack Leiter's walked 12 in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So that's where Jack's been. I watched Jack pitch. He was 3 2/3, left the bases loaded, more walks. He's frustrated with the strike zone.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit of Jack's problem right now. Look, he was still touching 95 to 97. Slider wasn't working great. He got squeezed a little bit. He was frustrated with the strike zone, and I think he lost a little bit of composure the other night. Well, and that'll happen. You're young. This is a kid that's very polished. You and I've talked to him. Very polished. This is a professional. It's his first season in pro baseball.
Yeah.
This is not the SEC. As good as you think the SEC is, this is not the SEC. I think he needs to get one more start, what they do in the playoffs, and him and Wynn need to go off fishing for about a month. Although we know Jack's going to go back to the lab there in Vanderbilt, isn't he?
Yeah, but to your point, and Jim Callis said this last week on our show. The Rangers really challenged this guy, and he made the same points. SEC is not AA, and so Jack's learning. And everybody thinks he's going to be better off for it. Is there a degree of worry? Probably a little bit more than last year when it was euphoria. But that's player development. Every player comes on his own time, has his own path, and the Rangers accelerated his path by pitching him at AA. Maybe he starts at Frisco again next year. Maybe they want him to start there, do well, earn a quick bump to AAA and see what happens. But
sure.
it's not a lost year. He's made every start. He's been healthy. He's had velocity.
He's gotten the innings.
He's striking guys out. So
yes.
Everything's there. It's just him figuring out how to make it go.
One thing killed him: walks. He was walking guys, and that's not the Jack Leiter we saw in college either. I mean, this is the guy that was the big game pitcher in college and all of that. It's just I'm not worried about Jack Leiter. He's still an ace in my book that's going to do next year. If he starts half the year doing what he's doing this year, maybe everyone can get a little concerned. Okay. But still, I think he's going to be a serviceable pitcher. And doing that, got to go to AAA. They're still 5 games back. They're really going to have to get on a hot streak here to make the playoffs. I think they're 76-67. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They did lose last night.
Tough road trip. El Paso and Tacoma. I mean the Pacific Coast League's not a great place to pitch either. No. In fact, the league ERA is
it gets thinner in some of those places
there than it is in the Texas League. But again, the Rangers still have some time to make moves if they want.
Sure.
And one name that's come up is Chase Lee, who's behind me. He was the first player to be in studio. I think the only player to be in studio so far.
Yeah, that's all we've had because Frisco was in town and it was an off day.
And anyway, he when Chase got bumped to AAA after just dominating AA, his numbers were really not good. But and right now you look at his ERA, it's like 5.91, but at one point his ERA was like 27.
Right.
I mean, it was massive.
Right.
And he's pitched really well, and he has caught the eye of Rangers brass, and they would consider him for a potential call up if it's warranted. Kyle Cody would probably get the nod ahead of him.
Right.
Maybe A.J. Alexi because he's still in the 40-man roster. And
I keep forgetting about Kyle Cody.
It's the cupboard's not bare.
No.
And the Rangers they've always had a guy like Chase Lee. The name that comes to mind for me is Alex Claudio. Who had some really good seasons with the Rangers.
Yeah.
And Darren O'Day, of course, who became a star and a future All-Star.
Just finished
started
playing,
with the
right?
Rangers. No, he's still pitching.
He's still going. Okay.
And so that's when you start thinking about the 2023 bullpen, Chase Lee's going to be in the mix at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else before we get out of here? It's been a good show.
No, it has been. Just again, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
That's very, very important for us. Subscribe to rangerstoday.com for $5.99 a month, $60 for a year, $35 for 6 months. The YouTube subscription's free. Just hit the button and follow us, and
absolutely,
and the stuff appears. So
don't
hop
forget
on board with all of that and do it for Durrett. The event's October 14th. I think we'll probably have Emily Jones on here before long to talk about it like we did last year. So
and just see what she's going to do.
She just lives right down the street, so maybe we can coax her to come into the studio.
Yeah, get her to come in studio here, and we'll have to probably have to get her to bring a bottle of wine or something. That's her other gig too. Hey, and do it for Durrett. It's near and dear to my heart, guys. You can't understand that I've come as close as you probably can come to actually losing somebody, and then it didn't happen. You're flummoxed so bad you don't know any help helps. I can't imagine losing anybody in your family.
Yeah,
it did not happen to me, but you lose someone in your family, the devastation. You go numb for a little bit, and we spent about 5 days numb. And some of you know that story. But anyway, that is a very important one, and it's a great cause. I love it. These families need that help, and that it is – I can't imagine what they go through in the sudden loss. Yeah. I mean, Kelly and her kids are fantastic. Awesome. Yeah. Gotten to know them, and they're just great people. So you guys get on that. That's a great cause.
Yep, I agree.
All right, till next time, guys. We'll see you at the yard.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See you.
Roxo Media House.